What's going on, guys? Today with Gnx Reviews, we are diving into kind of a crazy drop. Crazy drop, indeed. We hadn't heard much about what was going to happen today, what was going to take place, but it's just a normal Friday day, and everything's chill. I checked my phone. Someone said, "Oh, Kendrick dropped, right?" And I was like, obviously they're trolling. They've got to be trolling, right? Random drop. I didn't hear anything about this, but no, I checked, and of course he drops an entire album, 12 songs, which, amazing, right? Like, just the feeling of, not knowing anything about this, and then you just get this crazy drop out of nowhere. I love it. I love that it wasn't, hyped up to the max, and then people had their opinions already before the album even dropped. It's just fresh. It's right here. It's in our face. And I'm pretty excited about that. But the album that Kendrick dropped today, his first drop since Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, is GXN. Okay? So this is quite already kind of a controversial album. It's been out, I don't know what time it is, it's like 2 o'clock. It's been out for, just the morning and then part of the afternoon, and people are already either, they're starting to pick their sides. That's kind of how this thing works. But I've already given it 2 listens through, just to make sure that we give you a great review for this album. And I gotta say, it's not an easy rating, by far. It's not. And to understand this album, you kind of have to understand the arc that's going on with Kendrick Lamar, right? And so if you just, you don't listen to like Kendrick Lamar, you turn this on, you may love it, right? You may say, "Oh my God, this is great. I love it," or you could turn it on and you say, "Wow, this is not great. Like, it just sounds mainstream. It's not anything to write home about." But it's almost like the where people are most divided is people that are already fans of him, that are having a hard time forming an opinion about this album. Because on the one hand, you could get a very biased opinion, right? Someone who loves Kendrick Lamar so much that no matter what he puts out, they're going to be like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever listened to. He doesn't miss," And it's like, you didn't even listen to the song. They do the thing, they press play, 3 seconds in, "Oh, it's amazing, which, maybe I'm guilty of sometimes, but it's Kendrick Lamar. Like, come on. It's hard not to do that sometimes. But we're going to try and give you the most non-biased and straightforward review possible. Just a disclaimer, our opinions on this channel are fact, 100% fact, non-negotiable. So if you disagree, you're probably just wrong. You don't really. I hope the construction going on isn't too much, because this is a very important review. If it is, I'll edit it out in post. Even though I don't know how to edit. But so let's get into it. Okay, we're gonna get into the album. We're gonna talk about kind of what it means for his arc. We're gonna go over maybe my rankings. Then we're gonna give it a score, and we're gonna see how that is. So, kind of to put it in place, Kendrick Lamar has dropped all these albums, right? And he's released some of the most influential albums, and this is undisputed. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from the entire scene and entire take on rap. It's very debatable that no one's been as influential and impactful on the rap scene as Kendrick Lamar. And you could make a case for other people, but it's just hard to back it up. But it's tough, it's tough because, one of my buddies, he's not a diehard Kendrick Lamar fan, by all means, he's not. And, he already listened to part of it, and he's like, "Oh, this is trash. This is by far his worst work yet," which I disagree with. I fully disagree with. But it just depends on what you're walking into this album thinking and what you're expecting, you know? If you're expecting a fully engaging, revolutionary album like T-Pab or Mr. Morale, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that out of this album. But there's a reason for that. So if we look at his arc as an artist, so you had, and maybe we'll flash up some little graphics, you know, make it fun. But you had his first album, you know, you had the Overly Dedicated, you had Section 80, right? Those are the launch points for Kendrick Lamar. Those are where he's getting his voice out there. He's building a fan base, right? And he's kind of trying to gain a reputation, and he's trying to figure out who he is as an artist, okay? And then, of course, we get Good Kid, Mad City, which is one of the best albums ever put out. And what that does is it tells a story, right? So we get his music, we get kind of who he is. He's building a fan base, comes out with Good Kid, Mad City, and he's telling a story about his life that's shaping who he is. And it's a beautifully told story. It's very deep, and it has a lot of moving parts. And so then, right, where do we go from there? Well, now he's gained this huge following, right? And everyone reveres him as this great artist. Well, now he has a platform, right? He has a platform to use that. So he comes out with To Pimp a Butterfly, right? And To Pimp a Butterfly is often revered as the best album, right, on the rap scene ever put out in rap. They need to be quiet. They need to be quiet. This is more important than whatever they're doing. But so that was To Pimp a Butterfly. And he has a platform, right? So these things he's passionate about, he's able to communicate to his audience now and kind of serve a purpose and reflect on the good, the bad, the ugly in his life that has affected who he is and what he wants to do with that and what kind of impact he wants to leave. Great album. And then it's like, where do we go from there, right? We just came off of one of the greatest albums ever. You know, what do? He releases Untitled, Unmastered, right? This is just a collection of these songs that either, you know, didn't make the cut or he wanted out there, right? And so it's less of storytelling, but there's some really great songs on here, so it shouldn't be slept on. It's a great album. And then it's like, okay, created one of the greatest albums of all time. Twice. He has this following. He's made this cultural impact. Now what do we do, right? He's at the top of his game. He's on fire, okay? He comes out with Damn, okay? And Damn was so interesting. I need to do a full analysis of Damn because Damn, it did so many things, but people just see it as the pop, like, kind of basic mainstream version of Kendrick, but that's just surface level. That's all that they're looking at, surface level things. But that's what Damn was. It was him reflecting on his life and on his ego and how certain events influenced his life. And that album actually won him a Pulitzer Prize, which he is the only rap artist to win a Pulitzer Prize ever, it's a big deal, you know? It's a big deal, but a lot of people don't understand why he won that. I'd probably go over it in a future video. But yeah, that was Damn, and so now it's like, boom, he was at his peak. It's almost like he reached the top of the mountain, right? He reached the top of the mountain, and it's like, now what, right? Now what? He took 5 years off. 5 years. He's going through all these things with his family and with his career, and, you know, COVID hits, and it's a lot. And this is where we see one of the most honest and deeply reflective albums ever put into music, right? It may not be his magnum opus, but it sure is his requiem, right? And Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was probably one of the most personal, honest, and just all around vulnerable albums that he's ever put out. And it was just because it was him struggling with those things in his life that people don't see, but also this image that they have of him, and they're trying to make him out to be this thing that he's not, and he struggles with that. And so that's him getting that message out, reflecting on his life. This was more of an album for him than it was for anyone else, right? He didn't have anything to prove. He didn't have a whole lot to gain, right? This was just, it was something that he needed to do. And so that was his last album that he's released. And then, of course, all this Drake beef stuff happened, and that's a whole nother topic of discussion. But if you look at his arc and you look at these albums, his arc is complete, okay? It's complete. He did basically all these things that he sought out to do, and he had this full arc of his career that was very balanced, right? And so anything onto that sometimes can be seen as hurting his arc as an artist and the momentum he carries. But this album, GXN, what it is okay, I've been to the top of the mountain. I reflected on all of it. This is like, okay, we did what we wanted, and now it's just like, let's have some fun with it, okay? It's like, we're not trying to do anything revolutionary here, okay? All we're doing is, we're having fun with it. We're making these songs that he clearly enjoys making, and then here and there, right, we're going to do less of it, but we're still going to include some reflection and some honesty in our works. So that's kind of that's setting the stage for this album. And so what we're going to do, we're going to just go through the tracks, okay? And we're going to discuss, my thoughts on it, and kind of what leads me to my rating. So you get the intro song. I think this intro song is great. I enjoy it. It's a bit long, which I have no problem with long Kendrick songs as long as they have a purpose. And this one, it was long and I enjoyed it, and it was a great intro to an album. But it's hard, this being Kendrick Lamar, to not compare it to those other ones, right? Like you can't compare this to Wesley's Theory. You can't compare this to a long song like Fear or Sing About Me. You just can't make those comparisons. I don't know. So, but it's good. And so that one, and then Squabble Up, what they're going to do is they're going to set the tone for this album. So we get a clear tone, kind of the beat style, kind of the lyric style, kind of the theme that he's going for. So that's what they're doing. They're just setting the tone. Great songs. I will say Squabble Up, I'm not fully educated on it, but we've heard this hook before, right? We've heard it's been on TikTok, it's been on this. I think it got leaked or something like that. I don't really care. I love it. Great hype song. So that was good. I'd give those two together. I'd give the first one like a 9. It's not revolutionary, but it's a great song. Squabble Up, it's just hype, it's just a hype song. It's an 8.8, right? Pretty chill. Next we get to Luther. Okay, Luther I really like. Luther is a great song. I love the feature on it. I don't know the names of all these features yet. I probably could have done better research, but we'll just leave that up to you. So you can go check it out, and you're like, oh, it's a great feature. Let me go look. So go do that. Great vocals, and the production of this song is better than the first two songs by far. Great production. I love it. Overall, just, I don't know, it's great. And it's not an explicit song. It's just, it's great. I love it. And it's like, well, where are we going to go from there, right? Well, we go to Man at the Garden, which is similar, but it's even better. It's got a slow, but it's very calming, a very calming theme, tone going on. So it's great in that regard. The problem is, in about the first half of this song, it feels somewhat repetitive, and it feels somewhat uninspired, which is sad. But that was just the first half, and I've listened to it twice, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting a feel for this. But then that last part of the album, it really just, it's great. It's a lot more personal. This song right here is very personal. Talking about his struggles, talking about his family, his kids, talking about his religion. It's great. I love it. It's very honest. And the last minute is what really sold this song. And so this is a 9.5 song for Kendrick. I love it. So next we kind of shift down. We go back to more of the bop hype anthem, right? And so this one's Hey Now. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It's a banger, right? It's a banger. And I will say, right, at times, and I know this has been a theme his whole career, but somewhat hypocritical at times. Like, he talks all this stuff about how he hates his ego, he hates his pride. You switch to the next track, he's just talking about all these things about his ego and his pride and how much he's the best and he's got this car and like all this stuff. And it's like, I get it, but you can't be self-aware, right, and then do the thing you're talking about, and that makes it okay. You have to work on that, and I think he worked on that in the last album, and now it feels like a backtrack a little bit. But it's almost like, in his position, how can you not have that stance? It's almost impossible to not have that stance. But hype song, great. My problem with this song is it's getting repetitive, and it's starting to forward push this repetitive theme out of the beats, out of the mixing and the vocals, right? And he'll change it up here and there, but overall, like, I listen to song. That's the problem with these hype albums, right? Because if that's the majority of what's going on, then it's gonna get stale. And it's like there's this one beat that's just stuck in there that needed to be either swapped out or revised. And so for that reason, it could have been a lot better, right? It's a bop. It's great. It's hype. It has a great feature on it. I love the feature. And I like the vocal switch that he does. I mean, that's one of Kendrick's greatest strengths, but it's obviously here, and I love that. But, heavily on his ego, very repetitive. So it's going to get like an 8.4 for this song, but that's Hey Now. Next, we go to Reincarnated, okay? Reincarnated, going to this song, after coming off this song, I was ready for it to go up. I was ready for some improvement, on those fronts that he just covered, but they all just got worse. They just got worse. It had a great hook. I enjoyed the hook. But more ironic reflection, right? More of this stuff where he's like, he wants to say all these things of, I hate my ego. I hate these prideful things I do. But then he just goes and brags about them, and I think that's, he's done it a million times. Like, let's move on. Let's go ahead and move on. And this song just felt a bit uninspired and purposeless. It felt like you could take this song off of the album and it wouldn't affect anything. So I'd give it like a 7, 9, 8, right? I mean, it's good. Like, I'd play it, I'd listen to it, but you can't compare it to these vulnerable songs. You just can't do it. Now, here's where we turn it up a notch. Y'all ready? We're turning it up, okay? TV off. Okay, here's the deal with this album. I'm conflicted, or I remember you was conflicted, that kind of thing. It is heat. It is so heat. It's just so good. It's just, it's very like, oh my gosh, I just blast it, and I'd love it. We got Mustard on the beat. Which is crazy because there are times in this song where I'm like, oh my God, they fixed the beat, they did this, and then they like switch back. And I'm like, what are you doing? You just fixed it, you're switching back. If that would have been fixed, this would have been an amazing song, but this one feels a bit more mainstream, and I think I know why, but we'll get into that later. A bit more, mainstream, kind of what you would expect out of this hype style. But Mustard, you get Mustard on there, he's going to go crazy. Great song. This one's going to be an 8.9 out of this song. And so we come off of that, right? And I'm getting tired of the hype. I'm like, I get it, Kendrick, okay? We're hyped too. You're hyped. We get it, okay? Find a balance. Find a balance, right? I feel like Damn had a great balance because it would be like, boom, you get a hype song, oh my God. And then it would be like chill and it'd be reflective. And then you get a hype, maybe another hype, but then you get like some real nice, like thought out songs. But this one the order kind of throws it off a bit. So next we go to Dodger Blue, okay? And this is what I wanted, okay? This is what I was asking for. We get an amazing tone switch from Kendrick Lamar, and I mean, it's just, I mean, you know how he is, you know what he does. So great feature. I could be wrong on this. I hope I'm not wrong. That would be embarrassing, but I'm pretty sure I heard Baby Keem. But I'm not going to look it up because I have better things to do, apparently. Maybe. You don't know. So I'm not going to look it up. Go listen to it. I don't care. And it had the vocals at the end were just, they were just great. They're amazing. And if you get bored, skip, you're obviously not going to get to that part at all. But something was missing. Something was obviously missing. If you listen to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because you listen to it, you're like, this is great. And then it leaves you wanting something else. Like there's something that could have elevated it a bit higher. That Kendrick Lamar flair that he adds to these types of songs. So, but overall, like 9.2. I don't think I'm being very lenient with these scores. And you can disagree, but you would just have an incorrect opinion. So that's fine with me. But next, okay, we're going to go, right? We hopped up there. Boom. We're just going to drop it back down. We're going to trip a little bit. And we get to Peekaboo, okay? And I know there's going to be people that like this song and that they're going to think that it's great. And it's like, oh my God, it's such a jam. And Peekaboo. Bro, he repeated the same line like at least 20 times. Like, I don't remember it at this point because I was just trying to black out those lyrics. But too repetitive. Like, come on. Like, I know he can do better than this, you know. Like, he's had repetitive songs, and you would think that he would learn from that because that was his entire... Just shut up. They heard me. But that was his whole critique from most of his songs, right? If you look at, like, it was called Mr. Morale, the song, on that album. Or you look at Real on Good Kid, Mad City... Or you look at Ya on Damn. These are all great songs, but they get too repetitive. And it decreases the amount of times that you could just listen to this song. And I think he was just trying to be a bit... This was like, if you listen to Chromacopia, this was like Balloon. But it's Peekaboo. And it's a little too goofy for me. I like a little bit of goofy here and there, but what can you do? It's got its problems, for sure. I mean, it's tough. But, like, who cares? Like, what else you got to prove? We already got all these songs that are tough. We don't need 5 more. I'm sorry, man. So that's Peekaboo. It gets, like, a 7.8. Like a mid to high 7 out of that one. It's not bad. Like, I'd listen to it. Am I biased? Yes. Yeah, but I'm correct. I'm correct in my bias. So next we get The Heart Part 6. And let me tell you, I was very happy to see this because, of course, we know we don't have to bring up the armadillo in the room, whatever, of Drake using the title of this song, right? We get it. I know what he was doing, and it was like he was trying to take that from Kendrick. So, I mean, me personally, I think he did the right thing by going ahead and just releasing this song in his collection of parts and keeping ownership of that title. I think that was probably the right move. But it's still, I mean, Drake still got kind of a win out of that because to this day, right, whether Drake won or lost, whatever you think, whether you're right or wrong, I talk about this song and I think about that. So that's kind of a win in his book for that. But I'm glad that he released that. This is very identifiable to if you've listened to the other Hearts songs. Like the minute it came on, because I saw that this was one of the songs in there, but I was just listening to it in the background. And like not in the background, obviously. I was listening to the dadgum song. But, I heard the themes going on. I heard the production and everything. And I knew which song it was instantly. You can just tell it has that theme going on. Perfect vocals. There's nothing you could have done to have better vocals in this song. I love the theme. I love the storytelling. That's Kendrick Lamar's, my favorite aspect of him, is whenever he can tell a story in these songs. Same with Tyler. I love when Tyler does that. That's why I don't mess with Drake heavily, because he's not a great storyteller. But love the storytelling in this song, and it's good. It's good. I can confidently say that. This is a 9.5. That's what I would give this song. So next we have Gnx, right? Oh, look, that's the title. That's the title of the song, right? Gnx, good feature, good beat, low meaning. I didn't feel very moved with this song, but it has a great ending. I liked the ending to the song. I'm not gonna stop the video and listen to it again. You can go do that. But good song. It's it's like middle of the road for this album. Very middle of the road. So, but these are all songs that are gonna get people going. They're gonna enjoy these songs, or they're not. I don't care. Last song, I am not gonna talk about yet because we're gonna switch to a different segment. We're gonna switch it up, but we have one more song left. So I'm going to rate these songs. I'm going to give you the order of these ratings that we just went over. And then I'm going to give something. We're going to do something else. So dead last is Peekaboo. You could have guessed it. Sorry, Peekaboo. I don't care if y'all agree or not. Reincarnated is next. It's like an 8. It's at 11, at the 11 spot. Next after that would be Hey Now. Not bad. We're starting to get there. Then we got Gnx and Squabble Up. I could flip these either way. They could take 8 or 9 spot. You could flip them back and forth either way. Next, this is probably one of the better ones out of these hype songs, and that's TV Off. I really enjoyed it. Mustard did great on this. And then we get the first song at number 6. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to try, so just go search it up. Do the work for me. It's going to get like a 9. And so at this point, right, we get to the top 6. That's when these really get good. So next we have Dodger Blue at 5. I enjoyed this song heavily. Luther, I wanted to put it higher, but I couldn't put Luther higher. It's so good, though. It's so good. I got to remember why I gave it a 9.3, though. Next then we have The Man at the Garden and The Heart Part 6. These are both like a 9.5, 9.6. So y'all get that. We just went over the scores. The last one is Gloria. Gloria, I'm giving like a 9.9. It's not a perfect song, but it's damn near perfect. It's good. I love Gloria. An amazing flow. The flow on this is incredible. The storytelling is incredible. Go listen to it. Like, it's just great. Oh my gosh. It's so honest and vulnerable. Like, great end to an album. If you put this song anywhere else, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, but it's just such a great conclusion to the album. And this is what elevated this album to the score I'm giving it. If this song wasn't on there, this would have a lower score. But yeah, great song. So that's these songs ranked. Okay. So overall, right? You get the tower in the background. Overall, we are going to give GXN a 9.0. Boom. Put it right there. Here's the deal. here's the deal with that, okay? I've reviewed a lot of albums at this point. Go check them out on the Snap. I'll put that somewhere too, I guess, if I can figure out how to edit. But I've given some albums a 9 in the past, and now that I've done this in-depth breakdown of this album the proper way, I kind of regret the way I rated those previous albums, because this one was a lot more accurate, right? This is probably the most, I wouldn't say the most accurate, because first day, this is first impressions. So I would say this is more accurate than a lot of those ones have been. So there's some that I've rated that have deserved a 9, and there's some that haven't. Like, for example, I gave Her Loss an 8.9, and I'm giving this a 9. But there's a much bigger gap between these two. And I don't know which way it's going to go yet, right? Because this is only my first impression. I've listened to it twice and had to collect kind of meaning from it, but this is getting just a 9 flat for me. And so we're gonna put these in order. Let's start from the bottom. I'm not doing anything crazy here by these last 3, but Overly Dedicated is probably my least favorite album. I mean, it's obvious he's still trying to find himself. Section 80 and Untitled, Unmastered, those could flip-flop. I don't care. It just depends on what you're in the mood for. Those are at the 6 and 7 spot. GXN is getting the number 5 spot out of Kendrick Lamar. No shocker. This is not his best work, and this is not his worst work. So when those people are coming out saying, this is his worst album, okay, bro, don't listen to it. Go listen to your Uzi crap that has no meaning, and it's just this dude, this adult man squeaking on a track. Okay, go listen to that. Okay, because that's just so amazing. Go listen to that. This is at the number 5. Okay, it's close to middle of the road. I would change things about this album, but because of the spot he's in, he's not going to. And we already got these things that we wanted out of Kendrick. We got these revolutionary qualities, so it's hard to ask for more at this point. That's going to change the formula. Number 4 is Mr. Morale and Big Steppers. Great album. It's amazing. I remember when it came out, I really enjoyed it, and no one else did. Not right when it came out. Right when it came out, I was still kind of becoming a fan of Kendrick Lamar, and at first I loved Humble, and I loved XXX, and I liked All Right. Obviously I just found out about this guy, and then to go into this deep reflection off of that, obviously I'm not going to enjoy it at first, but over time it grew on me immensely. But next, this is crazy. This is what they're going to come for me for. So I hope y'all don't find me. But next we have To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly is going at number 3. This is scary, but someone had to say it, and someone that said it, which is me, is correct. So To Pimp a Butterfly is getting a 3. Influential, and of course it's influential. Amazing, yes, it's amazing, but it has a purpose, and it accomplishes that purpose. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I haven't yet actually fully rated this album, but that's just where it sticks right now. I've listened to the full album, but I haven't rated it. So eventually we'll give a good rating, and then y'all can yell at me later. Number two is going to Damn. People, might disagree, but Damn, if you know the deeper meaning and you understand the creation of this album and you understand the themes that it carries, this is one of the best rap albums of all time. It has some of the best features. It has some of the best hits. It has some of the best deep reflections of not only Kendrick's character, but people's character, and these emotions and these sins and these evils. It's amazing. Forward and in reverse. Oh my gosh, it's great. Duckworth is probably one of the best songs that rap has ever seen. But, you know, I'm just recycling nonsense at this point. But number one, I don't think anyone agrees with me on this one, but it just has a personal connection to me. Good Kid, Mad City it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's amazing. It's so just raw and vulnerable with its storytelling, and gives us such a deep look into Kendrick's character. And to me, I've listened to this album at least like 8 times at this point. Like I don't care. It's just too good. It's too good. The beginning just comes together at the end. Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst is one of the greatest songs ever made. Not rap, just one of the best songs. It has everything you would want. You'd have some hype, and then even when it has those hype, it still stays with his character because of the time that it was set in. It has one of the greatest kind of like repetitive themes of the voicemails, the phone calls. It's so good. I can't even tell you. But so that's my rating for this album. And that's the rating for where I rank Kendrick's albums. If this video gets like 5 likes, I guess, maybe we'll do more reviews like this with some of Kendrick's albums that need to be talked about. But everyone's talked about them before, so it's like, it's kind of hard to put my opinion out there when people have already given it a million times, right? But overall, this is, I don't know how people are going to react. It's hard because it dropped so suddenly. I think a lot of people are going to think that it's great and that he's amazing, and then other people are going to say this is trash. It's predictable, but it's so different from like Chromacopia that released like a couple weeks ago, because that one, it had hype going up to it, and it was very when it first came out, there were so many people saying it was awful, but they obviously don't know anything about music. But I think this score can change. I don't see it going higher, honestly. I don't think I'm gonna keep listening to this album and say, wow, this is a 9.5. I think it's either gonna stay at the same level it's at a 9, or it potentially could go down, sadly, but not low. I'm not gonna come out here and say it's below an 8.5, because then I'm not gonna listen to these opinions. I already came up with my opinion. I think it's good. It's the correct opinion. So tune in. We may be making a Patreon for 50 cents, everyone's got 50 cents. You get nothing really, just maybe a shout out to my 6 subscribers. But that'd be kind of cool, and then you could give me suggestions, which you can already do that in the comments and the Snapchat, but maybe I'll come up with something cool, and you can feel like you're, I don't know, it's 50. Come on, man. I don't care, man. But if I do make a Patreon, it's gonna stay that way for forever. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck around this long, thank you guys. I do these albums and I do these reviews just because I really enjoy music, and I really enjoy diversifying my profile. It doesn't show as much here on YouTube, but if you follow me on Snap, I review an album every single day. We hit 30 reviews probably a couple weeks ago, and that's pretty cool. But it started to open my eyes to a lot of different music and different tastes, and I enjoy it. So, but what a great day for music. I enjoy it. I enjoy the craft. But you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If you think you're right, tell me you're right. If you think I should review a different album, tell me what album. Tell me who your favorite artist is. Tell me if you think that they're better than Kendrick, or if you think he's washed now and Unk should retire and he's tripping. Tell me whatever. I don't care. Just do whatever you can. So thank you for sticking around, and go out, listen to this music yourself, form your own opinions. That's for sure. Don't listen to someone else's opinion. You have to make these opinions for yourself. So I would rather have someone have a really bad take, but it was their own take, than listen to someone with the correct take and just spew it back out. So, but I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one.